Welcome to the Kicking It with the Coaches podcast. I am your host today, Coach K. This show is brought to you guys today by Brain Jerk Entertainment, Kennedy Health and Wellness. Brain Jerk Entertainment, the leader in entertainment in this community, and also expanding out farther than that. Guys, they do everything for us here in this community. They provide entertainment from kids to adults. They give you a night out on the town. They go do fundraisers, all types of great stuff. These guys are awesome. Kennedy Health and Wellness, obviously your one-stop shop for everything wellness, from coaching services to retail services. So check us out, kennedyhealthwellness.com, brainjerkentertainment.com. Check us out. Our show today is also sponsored by Amaya's Fresh Mexican Grill, Little Brown Jug, Deb's Floral Designs, Lane's Pizzeria, IWR, Muggsy Sports Grill and Bar, Monroe Sports Center Bowling, and Nerdy Designs. Want to give a special shout out to Nerdy Designs and John Drake, just because he's been doing a lot to help me out lately, from coaching to business to everything. That guy's been stepping up huge and been just awesome to work with. So I got to give him a little love today for everything. I've been putting a lot of work on him lately. So guys, you need something done, from a logo to posters, whatever, make sure you go check him out. Just to give you guys a few updates before we jump in today with our guest, Gabe. We got a couple things going on that I just wanted to give a few updates without going into a lot of details. We got our third annual sports development camp is coming up. We've been doing that with the ALCC. That's going to be coming up. We're actually going to do two of them, one in May and one in July. I'll have more details on that soon, but that's big stuff. Our Big Back Prep is also getting ready to launch in May. For those of you who haven't heard about that, that's just for running backs and linebackers in the local or downriver community that are looking to get recruited at the college level. These are guys that are we're trying to bring in that are really looking to be elite football players. So that training is going to be more details announced on that, probably coming actually on Tuesday. So look out for those things. Our quote of the day is, "Dedication makes dreams come true." That's by Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to Kobe. We got to use some quotes from him because he's the GOAT, in my opinion, at least. I know that's debatable, but dedication makes dreams come true. This guy I met a few years ago, our guest today. I've seen the hard work he's put in, the time, the ups, the downs, the failures, the successes, all of it. That all goes into that dedication. Now he's going on to achieve further goals. I'm impressed by that. That's why we got him on today. He's actually our first student athlete that we've had on the show. So part of this show is giving coaches in different roles a voice, but some of this is getting our student athletes on and giving them a voice as well, which we think is awesome. So Gabe, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man, just a little bit about your journey, what kind of who you are.
All right, well, thanks for having me on. And I'm a senior at Monroe. I'll be going to Concordia next year to play basketball. It's up in Ann Arbor. And yeah, like you said, I met him a couple of years ago. We started training in the park a little bit. And now I'm going on to play college basketball, trying to get the best shape of my life. So I hit him up again, and we're going to get back after it here soon.
That's so Concordia it's a beautiful school, man. We were just talking about it before the show. That's a great accomplishment. So first off, I have to give you big respect because you're the one who puts the time in, the work, right? Coaches, we show up, we give you blueprint, discipline, these sort of things, but you guys at the end of the day have to do the stuff to get there, right? And like you said, we were at a park out at Vivian Road a couple years ago working, and he's been doing stuff. I believe he's been doing stuff with Level Up throughout the years too. So shout out to Level Up, doing stuff over there, doing stuff with the school. I'm sure travel ball, all these things. And it's awesome to hear that, man. We need kids in our community to make it. The kids that want to, right? The truly, not the kid that doesn't show up to lifts or practice or nothing, but says, yeah, I want to play college. No, but the kids who actually want to get there, we need the guys like you, man, because what it does is it helps our community in a lot of ways. It carries your name and your family name well, but it also gives a kid that's a freshman right now at Monroe, for example. Yeah. That kid might be looking at you like, hey, man, Gabe got to Concordia. He worked hard, he balled out, he did his thing, and he was able to accomplish it. You give hope to younger kids, which I think is the most important, right? As a leader, you want to elevate others. So I think it's awesome. We're going to talk about your season a little bit, your career, kind of some things throughout Monroe and kind of what made you choose Concordia and those different things today. I'm excited to train with you again, man. We're going to get you together, a good plan. We were just talking about that before the show. Overtime athletes, a lot of you guys know I coach with them. Not just as somebody who, trains with their drills now. We're actually part of the team. So we're going to get Gabe together and get him some good stuff. But so we got some questions for you. When you were going through the recruiting process, was there multiple schools looking at you, or was this kind of like Concordia reached out, that was my first set love? Like, what was that process like?
Well, I committed really early. First thing, I committed before my senior season, which most people don't do, which is why you see a lot of people committing. A bunch are now because the season's over.
Right.
But I was talking to a lot, like 10 or so schools, getting emails, going to camps and all this stuff. And then I actually got both my offers that I ended up getting on the same day. At Concordia and then at Olivet College.
Olivet was your other one? Okay.
But even before I got the Concordia offer, I was already like kind of thinking like if I get that offer, I want to go there.
Okay. That makes sense.
Between the basketball program and how good the coaches are and the location, like right up in Ann Arbor.
Beautiful.
It's awesome. It's like the best city in the world.
I don't disagree with that. I can agree with that, man. It is a beautiful city.
But yeah, going to camps and stuff for recruiting, you got to go to that because unless you're top player in the state, people aren't going to come to you. You kind of have to go to them. So
are you talking about just like prospect camps? You did a lot of different, all over the state, or are you talking about just Concordia?
No, there was a ton of college camps I went to. I went to like Hiram, Bethel. Okay. There's a bunch of them. I can't even think right now. I went to like 5 in 1 week during the summer. And really, it really helps to have a nice support team around you. Like my mom drove me to all those.
Shout out to mom.
Yeah, for real. Like,
for real. Shout out to mom.
Those camps are big, and having the chance to go to those.
Yep, definitely.
Huge.
Definitely. And I say that jokingly, but I also say that serious. Your mom and dad, they're great people, man, and they do back you up, and that is a beautiful thing. That's a great thing to have, and make sure you always cherish that. They are huge supporters, and that's awesome, man. That is, you got to find somebody, whether it's mom, dad, brother, whether it's uncle, friend. You have to find those people that really back up your dream, no matter how crazy it sounds, no matter how we talked about it before. You're a 1 to 3%er. Right, because most kids don't make it to this next level after high school. It's it. So to achieve those kind of goals, you have to lean on those support systems that can help you get there. Nobody can do it alone. Yeah, it makes it a lot harder to do it on your own. Because obviously, having people to take you places. Right. If you're not playing good, they're there for you. If they are playing good, they're there for you. It's like having people in your corner definitely helps. It's a lot harder to do it on your own. Excuse me. Now, this wasn't a question that I actually had planned. Are mom and dad different when it comes to how, like for example, let's say you have a bad game, a bad one. Does mom or dad treat you different? And it's okay. Most parents do. Most of the time it's like mom's like, it's okay. And dad's like, hey, man, you got to do this better. Yeah. Like, I think that's kind of how it is. It's like, my mom knows at this point, she knows like kind of let me be mad for a little bit. Don't get on me right away with the it's okay and everything like that. She kind of lets me be mad for a little bit. And then my dad's kind of like, all right, doesn't really say anything, but the next day at practice, like, this is what we need to do. Then he'll talk. Yeah. So he kind of gives you your space, though? Yeah. So you get pretty mad when you lose? Yeah, so if I have a bad game and we lose and I feel like that it was a lot on me, he's not going to, like, be on me right in the moment there. Right. So he'll wait till the next day, and then at practice we'll work on what we need to work on. It's almost like a 24-hour rule. Yeah, as coaches, we have, like, a 24-hour rule with parents, like, give us 24 hours because when things go wrong, we're usually mad. You're mad. Yeah. Let's come back in 24 hours and let's talk about the game, the situation, right? And we'll solve it then. But yeah, I just was kind of wanting to get some insight. Plus, your dad's a coach, so yeah. So to see him the next day at practice, he can wait to tell me what he was thinking about the last game, and then we can work on what we need to work on. Right, but that's good balance. I think you need people in your corner that make you know it's okay after a bad game and say, look, it's all right. And I think you also need people that go, yeah, it's okay, but like you do need to do better at this, right? We need to improve this and work on it. I think those are both super important angles. So tapping back into the Concordia thing, though, you said that there was Olivet and Concordia. Now, was there anywhere that you were like that you wanted to go or that you were considering that maybe didn't offer, but is there anywhere else that you were kind of like, man, that place is, or because it seems like Concordia was just kind of a runaway for you, to be honest. They were definitely like up there in like
the
Okay.
dreams. Like there was them, and then there was a school I believe in Indiana, it's like near the South Bend-ish area.
Okay.
Bethel.
Yeah.
I went to a camp down there, and I really liked it. I thought I played really well at the camp, liked the coaches, but
Okay.
I didn't really get in touch with them again. But I think it worked out for the best because I think I'm supposed to be going to Concordia.
I love that.
I think that's where I'm
a
led
fate
to.
type of thing. I love that. And for those of you who don't know, who are watching the show, Concordia is an incredible university. It's an incredible campus. Like Gabe said earlier, a few minutes ago, it's beautiful. Everybody knows Ann Arbor is awesome, but their campus in particular, and to talk about this, because this is super important, especially for a kid that I care about, they're one of the safest campuses in America. And that I think is super important, right? They always have security there 24 hours. There's always somebody there. It's extremely safe. It's a somewhat religious school, and they practice different things where I think for the most part, people just practice moral standards there. And it's an awesome place. And I encourage football guys to go there all the time. When Gabe announced that he was going, I was so excited for him because I'm telling you, it's on the river. It's awesome. I've heard, I don't know, and you can tell me, maybe you know, I've heard that they're getting a new weight room.
I've also heard that.
So
I heard that in my first visit. They were talking about that.
What was your first visit like? Tap into that real quick.
The first one was a tour of the campus and walked through. You got to look at the dorms and everything, the whole campus. And then I talked to the coaches, watched the practice and all that. The second visit was when I got offered. It was just straight into the office. Didn't go on the campus or anything again.
Okay.
And
wow.
it was just
straight to the point.
Strictly basketball. Then going back there soon to check out the campus again and get more of a feel for everything.
You're going back soon?
Yeah. They have like a freshman orientation tour kind of thing.
Let me know. Let me know when you go up there. If coaches are welcome to tag along, I'll man, I like to pop up there just to see the campus and be a support and honestly, I got a few guys that play football out there. I like to pop in on them guys and see how they're doing. But that's awesome, man. It's exciting when you go on visits. Like that's one of the most cool things you can do as a recruit is just that whole process of like going there, seeing what they offer. Did you visit anywhere else out of curiosity? Yeah,
I visited Olivet. Obviously got the offer the same day, and then I visited Hiram.
Okay.
I want to say there's a couple more. I'm kind of having a brain fart now, but
okay.
A lot of the team camps you went to, like if you went to a school-specific camp,
right,
you got to visit too. And
okay.
A lot of them
a
few of them were like an invitation one. Like if you got invited, you get to go and you get to visit.
That makes sense. That's awesome, though. So you did get to experience quite a bit then from that standpoint.
And all of them were all the campuses differed like pretty.
Are you staying up there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. That's part of the college experience. I think that's really cool. Plus, I think when you do that, I think it's important for you, especially this year, maybe not in the next few years, but this year, I think it's important for you to get as acclimated with your teammates as possible. Just because, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit, actually, but while I don't know if your goal is to score 40 a game, your goal is definitely like to come in and be somebody who's respected, right? That's something you want no matter what. And I think when you stay up there, that's a lot easier to earn that respect from them guys a lot quicker. You know what I'm saying? When y'all go see movies together and walk down by the water and all that crazy stuff you can do in Ann Arbor, and that's big, man.
Because I've been on teams that were really close like that, and I've been on teams that weren't as close like that. And I definitely think the team that was close had a lot more success.
So we were just talking about this at Eastern Michigan. This brought me to a question. So that stuff to you really matters as a student athlete?
Yeah.
So Chris Creighton, shout out to Coach Creighton and the EMU football staff. A lot of our clip the other day, coaching was actually about like culture and what they do to kind of build the community and bring the team together. And that was their biggest message of the day was everything we do is to build something outside of sports. That way on the field, court, whatever, it just takes care of itself type of deal. That as a student athlete is important.
So like at Monroe the last 4 years, win or lose, my dad and Larry Middleton, the head varsity coach, had made it such a different culture. Like we have team dinners and stuff every Sunday where we get to get together, have a team dinner, and just not even the team dinners, but just practices and like before and after games and stuff. It just a lot more of a family feel than before.
Do you guys go do like bowling, or do you guys go have dinner? You said team dinners.
We've had team
right?
dinners. We've done one at the bowling alley.
Okay,
and
very
then
nice.
after games and stuff, we always go out to eat. And those are the memories in high school basketball where you really make memories and you can really remember those more than the game sometimes.
That's incredible. So coaches who are listening, take it from, like, we need to listen to our kids as much as we expect them to listen to us, and take it from him. The stuff outside of sports for him is the stuff he remembers most. And Pat Lancaster, who was on last week before Bronco, he was our first show. Pat also said that the things he remembers most about BGSU baseball was the things he did with the team off of the field. So for coaches out there, between the Eastern Michigan example and what Gabe just said and Pat and all these different things, just make sure we're always prioritizing that, because I think right now that's bigger than ever to bring you guys together and get you guys, and I don't mean this to say this as, coach old man, but get you guys separated from TikTok and things a little bit and get you guys more together in reality doing things. I think it's super important.
Because I think the most together team I've ever played on was my sophomore year on varsity when we were stuck at home, didn't get to go to school because of COVID.
The COVID year.
So the only time we got out of the house was to go to practice. And when we went to practice, everybody was so excited to be there because it was their first time out of the house all day.
Right.
So when we were there, we were like really excited to see each other, practicing really hard, and that was the most together team I've ever been on, probably.
That's awesome, man. That definitely makes sense. And shout out, I forgot a minute ago, but shout out, you said Coach Middleton.
Yep.
Shout out to Coach Middleton and your dad. Coach, it's sweet.
Sweet.
All right, I didn't know. I wanted to make sure, but so shout out to Coach Middleton and Coach Sweet, them guys over there. I know, Gabe, I know from what I've heard from you, from what I see the pictures from your mom and different things and the coaches, I know like it definitely looks like you guys are doing more than like what we say, more than ball, right? You guys are building something more than basketball, and eventually we'll let the wins come around, but things got to be bigger first.
Not only have we had more success basketball wise, it's more of a family culture, bigger deal on that.
Right.
And then also we've had a lot more youth camps and stuff in the past couple of years than recent history.
Beautiful.
Which is really where it starts, because that's where you need to build from down there.
100% agree with that. 100%.
Because you can see the kids that started when we were younger are the kids that had more success throughout high school and now are going to play college, whatever sport it is. We have baseball players, a few basketball players in the last couple of years, some football players. But all those kids, you can see the tendency is that those are the kids that started young and worked all the way until now are going to play somewhere.
Yep, facts. Because you can't, what some people don't understand is you can't, and again, you're a good example, your teammates, as you said, you can't start something and have the fundamentals learned at 16, 15, 14. Those fundamentals got to be learned at like 5, 6, 7. Even weightlifting, we start kids at, and people are going to call me crazy, but you can hit me up after. We'll start kids working out at 7, 8. And no, they're not bench pressing Olympic weight. They're, learning how to do a push-up and a sit-up.
You can do it safely.
And different things, right. But you have to establish fundamentals way before, or I hate to say it like that, but your chances of getting to the next level are slim unless you're like 6, 7.
Yeah, right. Those are the guys who start late and are able to get away with it.
Yeah, because they're 6, 7.
When you're 5'10", your senior year going into college, you better start in second grade. Yeah.
No, definitely facts. You gotta see your cards dealt and play them. Yeah. So Gabe, what was your senior year like?
So going into it, we lost my junior year. I was the only starter returning from that year. We lost all 4 other starters, so we had to replace 4 spots, and we did a pretty good job of that. We had guys come off the bench, guys from JV, and everyone filled in real nice. And one thing with the Monroe basketball the last 4 years I've been there is giving up and like getting defeated is not really an option, because like we always come to practice the next day after a loss and worked harder the next day, and then eventually it does pay off and sometimes doesn't, but we end up picking up a few wins. And when we played together as a team, we played our best, and that's when we got our wins. But all right, thanks. And then the games we didn't play together as a team, that's the games we lost. And then we had a few games that could have gone either way, but it was overall a successful season in my mind, I think.
Okay.
I learned a lot more than just basketball. I got to experience being like the leader on a team.
Right, that's awesome.
And I've made a lot of mistakes in that role, and I made a lot of good decisions in that role too, but that's what you learn from, and I can take that to the next level now.
Absolutely. Any accolades you want to share? Any team awards or anything?
I did. I won the team MVP.
Okay,
that's
big.
That was player voted on, so that was nice to know.
That's huge.
That was nice to know that the players thought that.
Yeah.
And then I also won. I was on the first team All SEC.
Boom, big time.
And that was voted on by the other coaches in the league. So to know that they think that too.
Yeah.
The guys I've been playing against for the last 3 years, they thought that. So that was pretty. That was pretty nice. So
the guys you played with and the guys you played, like, that's incredible. That's the two biggest honors that you can get, man. Is them guys. You know, that's incredible. So to kind of get back to the Concordia thing, you're going off here. You're playing ball. What is your plans off the court? Like, what's your career and school major?
I'm thinking right now I want to major in psychology and either be like a clinical therapist type of thing, like somewhere in that
big
field.
Time.
Yeah, because originally when I first started going to like camps and having to write down what my major might be, I was thinking like exercise science.
Okay.
And then I took anatomy at the high school, and after semester 1, dropped that class, dropped that major. And I didn't want anything to do with that anymore.
I gotcha.
Whoever goes into that field, props to you, because anatomy is tough. Like, high school anatomy was tough. I can't even imagine what college anatomy was going to be like.
It is. It's definitely. I get what you mean for sure. That's cool though, man.
Yeah.
So that's a big profession, especially right now. And that's huge that you're doing something that's got lofty goals to it. I mean, I think that's a big goal. And I'm assuming, I mean, they have something in Concordia they have programs.
Yeah, they have the major, have the program and everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about what is Concordia's program like? What's their basketball program been recently? What's it like there?
This past year, they had probably, I think, one of the better seasons they've had in recent history. But they had like 4 seniors starting, I think. Those were guys they like developed through from freshman to senior year, and that's how it works, I think. And they ended up paying off, had a really good season, and then now they get to replace and it build up again. But I think, and then the coaches, those guys, Coach Yon played professionally, I think. Whether it was might have been overseas, I don't know, but I think he did play professionally.
Yeah, still though, that's an accomplishment.
And then Coach Park played at UMBC.
Okay.
He's first year, or this was his first year, so he'll be the second year coach now.
Very nice.
He was part of the team that beat Virginia, the 16 seed.
Wow.
Beat the 1 seed.
So yeah, that's how I knew of him.
Yeah.
I mean, when you said it out, that's the first thing wow, that's incredible.
And then Coach Fosdick coached at Saline the last like 8-ish years, somewhere in there, I think. And then now his first year was last year.
To Concordia.
Yep.
Wow. So they have the coaching staff.
Oh yeah. So the funny thing about Fosdick was, my first ever varsity game, we played Saline, so I played him, and then now I'm going to be playing for him next year.
Right, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, because you went to Monroe, right?
Yep.
That makes sense. Saline would be on the schedule, probably twice a year?
Twice a year.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy though. Small world, full circle.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's a great coaching staff over there. So when does school and basketball start for you at Concordia?
I mean, I think I was told something about open gyms starting like right after spring break.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. But then I don't really know exactly when we go up there. I think we actually move up there somewhere in like late August.
Okay, so sometime in the late summer.
But I think they're gonna send out lifting programs and all that stuff that we can start on our own. I did hear conditioning is very tough for Concordia basketball, so I'm trying to be in good shape before conditioning starts. Have
you met the strength and conditioning coach?
I have not.
So he runs everything. Shout out to Coach. I don't want to butcher your name, Coach, if you do watch this. But shout out to Coach. I believe it's Kohler. He's a good dude. I met with him for a couple hours one time when I went up there. Very smart guy. He runs all the sports. So they just have one strength and conditioning coach that takes care of everybody. So from what I understand, he's a really intense guy. He does have very good workouts. Actually, to share a quick story with you, because he'll be your coach. Yeah. I went to a game against I can't remember who they played. It was Concordia's last game of the season though for football, and it was snowing outside, and I'm talking just snow, man, like a real snow. And this guy was out there, and he's one of them strength coaches who's out there in like shorts and a t-shirt in the middle of snow.
Yeah.
Like he's the Northwestern guy, and he's out there just pumped the whole game. And I was like, this is crazy right here. This guy is crazy. But Nonetheless, shout out to him. He's a good coach. I can't wait to hear kind of your feedback working with him too. And I think it's awesome because we work in this field together, and then I know what he does to a degree, and he's solid. And it'll be fun to kind of see that journey.
Yeah, I haven't met him yet, but if you show up for like a 7 a.m. lift and this guy's all jacked up, ready to go,
man,
that'll get you going too. So
big time. And make sure, and I know you will, but make sure you definitely utilize that time in there, because I think that's what separates you, and it'll get you on the court a lot faster. Right?
Yeah, that was my big thing as a sophomore before the season started. Started lifting weights and working on a little bit, and that definitely helped me be able to play my sophomore year.
Love it.
Because if I didn't put on some weight and get a little stronger, I wouldn't have been able to play my sophomore year, whether I was skilled enough at basketball or not.
That makes sense for sure, definitely. And that was something actually, Bronco, shout out to Bronco, but we talked to Bronco last week, right? And he said about taking care of yourself outside of training and practice hours, and that's something that I know you can relate to as well. And you and I have talked about it, and you know, part of what we're doing right now is getting you the nutrition thing together and kind of getting an idea for you and a plan. And it's super cool, man, because all that stuff is super important. The more sleep you get, the more nutrition, all these different things, the more important it is for you to grow and to get on the court. With that being said, what's your expectations year one at Concordia for you individually and for the team?
Personal goals, I mean, I want to be a vocal leader and just like a respect leader. Like, even if I'm not like giving a speech or something like that, I just want guys to respect me and be that type of leader. But wherever I'm at, if I'm at the end of the bench, I'm playing a lot, wherever it's at, I just want to be able to just do my job. Right. And whatever it is, if I need to come in and just give someone a breather for a little bit, or I need to actually play big minutes one game or something like that, I just want to do whatever it is that they need out of me. And I know that whether my time comes freshman year or it comes senior year, all the time in between, work as hard as I can and give them what they need out of me.
Facts. It's about the everyday work. It's the Kobe. We use them as our quote of the day, right? It's the Kobe mindset of job ain't finished till it's finished. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna keep working until them 4 years is up, no matter what. I love it, man. Go in there and the one thing you can control is what you said. You can control being a leader. You can control going in there and being competitive and pushing the guy in front of you. We all need that as coaches, man. If you're not the starter, I really need the guy behind, like pushing that starter or flat out trying to take his job.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
That's probably the best way of pushing the starter.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm coming for your cookies, man. I'm trying to take your job. That's what gets him worried and gets him showing up an extra hour to the gym, because he's like, dang, this younger guy is like trying to get my spot. That's awesome, man. What about from a team standpoint?
I mean, I want to win as many games as possible. That's the main goal out of everything. Whether I'm even playing at all or not, I want us to win as many games as possible. And then throughout the next 4 years, at some point I would like to win a WAC championship.
Right, that'd be awesome,
a league
man.
championship.
Awesome.
That'd be.
Do you know how long they've been a program by chance?
I think it's been a while.
I know
the current head coach has been going for like 10-ish years.
Okay.
And there's guys before him.
So I know football is a fairly new program there. So I just was curious. I wasn't sure about basketball, to be honest. But so it sounds like they've got a good coaching staff with some solid ground to make a run. Where if you're there 4 years, man, you'll have a chance. And I know the transfer portal and all that stuff is there. But man, it sounds like you have a great home in Concordia, to be honest, and somewhere that you're gonna love and stick it out.
Yeah, I don't really see myself ever hitting the portal, because I think myself, no matter where I'm at, even if I'm not playing a lot, I feel like I would just rather work hard and play where I'm at, or
love this,
than just go somewhere else and play.
Student athletes that are watching, younger guys, well, seniors and younger guys, college guys, anybody who's listening, take that for what it's worth, man. We still have people here who want to work hard and want to earn it, and don't want to just jump to the next situation. And I think what we're finding, man, is that's not always that's a lot of times that's not what happens to work out for the better. And I just share that with you because you are a young student athlete getting ready to go. But I love it because you seem so at home at Concordia. Yeah. That to me as a coach is like incredible, man. I'm like, man, Gabe is going to be, that's his spot, man. I love that. That's incredible. What do you think, give me one thing, the biggest thing failure has taught you?
gone through a fair share of it. So I mean, like being able to bounce back in any basketball has taught me that in any aspect of life. So I lose a basketball game, or if we have a bad season, I can bounce back the next off season, the next practice, and work harder, and then go on to the next game. That goes for any aspect of life.
So would you say like resiliency?
Yeah, I had a word I was thinking of, I can't think of it now, but being able to bounce back and from failure and work harder the next day, that's what I learned from basketball. But I'll take that into any aspect of life now.
Right, absolutely. What do you think your biggest strength is as a person, or even as a basketball player? But I'm looking for more like from a character standpoint. What's your biggest strength?
I think helping others. Like if I see somebody struggling one day, I'm gonna do what I can to get them back on track. Like if I see a teammate is not shooting it that well and he's having a bad day, I'm telling him it's all good. We all have bad days. Just shoot the next shot. You can't worry about it for too long. But nice. I myself get worried about it too. If I'm having a bad shooting day, I'm in my own head too.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So then the teammate you had their back, they might have yours the next day.
Right. Most definitely.
That's another thing how you grow a culture.
100%. The more you guys come together, the better off you are. Maybe people don't feed into it as much. I do. I believe that you and the guy next to you have to have a relationship to depend on each other in the fourth quarter of a basketball game when it's 61-61 with a minute 13 or whatever left. Like I believe you wholeheartedly to look across at that guy, you got to know you can trust that guy, and you only build that through helping each other, through elevating each other, like you just said, being there for each other. It's the only way you build that, man.
I think going back to one of your questions, failure, my sophomore year when we won the district, we went 2-18 that season, in the regular season. And we won 3 straight to win the district. And we went to our regional game. Wow. Our regional game, we were leading the whole game. We just had a few guys gone from COVID.
I remember this, actually.
And then we ended up losing that game, but it was a really good game. But those 18 games we lost during the regular season, we never quit. We never got defeated. And we just showed up the next day and worked harder. And it ended up paying off in the district. We were able to string 3 together and win that. And that was our biggest accomplishment in the last 5 years.
Love it.
For all the coaches that were on staff, all the players that got to be a part of it, that was our biggest accomplishment.
Seeing people have to judge you. We have to judge people as men and women by the distance traveled, not by where they're at. So, for example, we can't judge you by you not winning a state title. Yeah. We have to judge you by the fact that you were able to go through all that adversity and them losses, and you were able to overcome and finish the season, right? Outperform those adversity and be able to elevate to a different level. That's what you have to judge student athletes, coaches. And I don't mean to say judge, but people are going to do it anyway. But I always say if you're going to judge people on how far they've come, not where they're at, because that's not always a fair assessment, right? Who knows what the challenges are at Monroe with the schedule, with this, that, there, the other. There's a million challenges at different schools and programs. But I think that's very important because it all ties in together, right? You're going through adversity, but you guys were able to come out on top, which is awesome. What's your biggest weakness, do you think? Like, what's something going into Concordia that you're like, I want to fix this going into college basketball or going into college?
Well, basketball-wise, it's stuff like getting my shot better, because I feel like I'm pretty good at getting in the hole and kicking it out and handling the ball, but definitely getting my shot better. And then as like a leader, I was watching some Tim Tebow videos on leadership and all that stuff, and he was talking about how the best leadership might just be like leading by example and that kind of thing, other than just instead of getting into somebody and like, because some guys don't take criticism that well. Like if you say something to them, they might shut down. Yep. But if you just like
or resent
let it go, and then you just do something harder, and maybe they'll follow after you and do it harder. And also, it's like he was talking about how good leaders don't like gossip and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I think to keep a team together, you have to be like, I can't be talking about you about another teammate, 100%. That type of thing.
So those are things you would say that you want to work on to keep developing as a person?
I think that can kill a team. Like
100%.
When all the guys aren't together and you have like these few on their own, this guy on his own. So making sure the team comes together more.
Definitely.
Something I want to work on.
That's definitely something that you'll have the next 4 years, man, to continue to do that. But that's definitely knowing that you can be a better leader in certain aspects is super important as a man. I'm always super transparent. There's so many things that I could do better as a businessman, coach, person, just because I'm nowhere. I know how far you can, I know how much you can develop, and I know that every day is that constant process. So to me, humbly, like I know every day is going after that to become. So knowing that and knowing that you have to develop in those areas is huge, man. It'll take you a long way. And I think the person you are, you'll always be able to do those things. What was your experience like playing for Dad? Dad might be watching too, man. I know Mom's watching, so you might want to be careful with this answer.
I think they are. So I think we started like 3rd or 4th grade until now. He's been my coach almost every single year, and there's ups and downs to that. There's ups and like he really cares about it. He puts in more time and energy than anyone I know into me, and then there's downs that because of that he gets upset. I feel like I really want to do my best to make him happy and think that it's worth it putting all the time. And obviously, I know he thinks that no matter what. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's nice to have him there because if I want to get in the gym and put in extra work, he'll go, he'll take me, and then there's definitely been some arguments throughout the years, but
right, it's to be
that's where Mom comes in and gets it even and calmed out. And then, yeah, but having him there is definitely part of the reason I am where I am today because he puts in more work than me probably. Whether he's doing the basketball or not, he's there opening the gym, caring about it, sending me TikToks.
Because he wants you to
sending
succeed.
Me TikToks of drills all days. And if I'm sitting on the couch, he'll come up to me with the basketball board and have some play showing me or something like that. But he wants it just as much as me, and he puts in just as much time and energy as me.
So that's why the arguments happen.
Yeah.
It's nothing more than passion, right? And it's Dad wanting to be Dad and teach and be there for you. And it's you probably in those moments being frustrated because something didn't go, the way you wanted it to go. But that's how it's supposed to be, though. That's right there. The relationship you guys have is how it should be. It should never be like, man, I hated playing for my dad. It should never, ever feel like that.
No, that's like,
it should be, we had our moments. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, it was a great experience.
Yeah, it was because, again, I would never be where I'm at now if it wasn't for that. And, I had something to say. I forgot now, though. But yeah, that's necessary to have is someone in your corner, like you said earlier.
Definitely. Who was your biggest inspiration growing up? Like, who was somebody you looked up to?
Oh, when I was little, I used to go to in elementary school. I used to go to all the Monroe games, and I was obsessed with that team.
Okay.
Like there was guys like.
Was there any players on it?
There was like Fred Shipp.
Okay.
Tevin Nichols and that team, and John Goodenough and all of them. And I was obsessed with going to those games. And I was obsessed with wanting to be on that team one day. And then obviously I was. I ended up being on that team. And,
right.
That was an inspiration. And then probably another one is. I'm trying to think of a basketball one or just an overall sports one is Tim Tebow probably. I love Tebow and I liked watching his videos when he talks about leadership and talks about hard work and faith and everything. I enjoy listening to those videos. I think I get a lot out of those.
That's not bad answers, not at all. Not one bit. He's a hardworking dude built on faith and hard work, and I think that's important. He was a good idol to look up to. A lot of people razzed him for whatever reasons. It's whatever. But he was definitely a good idol.
No matter where you're at.
Yeah, man. None of us are, from us all the way to the people that are professional athletes, coaches, whatever. We're always going to take slack for something we do from somebody, no doubt about it. But that's awesome. Those were good answers. So what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone young who was in the position you were in a few years ago? So that freshman point guard. All
right. So first thing, definitely every time you have an opportunity to get in the gym. And whether everybody else is working hard or not, make sure you're working your hardest because I've been around guys who weren't working hard and I'm going my hardest and they're just not following the lead and it's whatever. But at the end of the day, I came out a little higher than them. So obviously you want your team to work as hard as you, but you can only control yourself. And then get in the weight room if you're a smaller guy, get in the weight room. That'll definitely help you. Because right there, if you get more athletic, you'll play more, whether you're good at basketball or not. If you're more athletic than somebody and you have the same basketball skill, you're a step ahead of them already.
Agreed. Hit that weight room. 100% agreed. I talked to a coach at EMU and he was like, I was asking him like, how do you get guys motivated to come into the weight room? And he was like, some of it's just results as far as football, right? It's like or best. So it wasn't the strength and conditioning coach. Sorry, it was actually the sports performance development coach. So he oversees like all the strength and conditioning coaches. But he was saying that a lot of it's like you want results on the field and on the court and off, but you also like, or on the field and on the court, but you also want like off, like you want to be physically in shape. You want to like be able to go up and down some stairs or play with your kids or your niece or nephew or your cousins and not be like winded. Like you want those things to be easy.
I think a lot of guys get in the weight room for their sport and then end up loving the weight room and having a lot of fun in there on its own. Like, right. So then even if they weren't playing the sport, when they graduate and they don't play the sport anymore, they stay in the weight room. And I feel like no matter what point in my life I'm in, whether I'm playing basketball or not, I'm going to be working out at some 100%. Extent.
Due to different injuries and things that I've over the last few years, it's been off and on. But man, for the most part, I'll be honest, we've been on. We still go because it's the same thing. It's like when I was introduced to it, and I was late. I wasn't introduced to it until I was probably like 16, 17. And I was like, man, we're allowed to come in the weight room and like do this. But it was incredible, man, when I first started working out. And then throughout the years, I've always at least made sure to make a trip to the gym, even if it's like 20 minutes and I'm just going to like hit the treadmill uphill for a 20-minute walk. I got to do something, even if it's the busiest day ever. But that's a great message, man, to all the young student athletes that watch this, because they do need to be in the weight room for a lot of reasons, and it's for health, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to be a healthy human being, man, outside of just a top optimal performance athlete. We want you to be a healthy guy for the rest of your life and have those habits as tools already set in place as coaches. That's what we want.
That mentally helps you too, working out.
Big time. Yeah. Elaborate.
So like, if you're not feeling that, if you have a bad day or something, you get in the gym and work out. That's like clears your mind and you get a totally different mood.
So a lot of that's a hot topic today, and you're a mature guy, man, and that's why we had you on today, and that's why I know I can ask certain questions. What are some things, because that's a huge topic, and I wasn't planning on talking about this today, but let's dive for a minute. The student athletes' mental health is a big thing these days, whether it's high school, college. What are a couple things other than just going to the gym? Like, what are some things you do to stay just kind of positive and in good shape mentally?
Well, another thing, it comes back to having a good support team. With my mom, she's on me on my grades, so if I'm slacking at school, I'm getting texts during the day like, you need to do this.
Right.
You need to go talk to your teacher about this. Why isn't this turned in? And then that helps right there alone. Get some stress off, because if you have somebody helping you with that. And then, what was the question again?
It was just, honestly, I'll be honest, man. I was already thinking ahead to the next one here. I got a few more questions here, and we're running out of time, so I was already kind of.
One more thing about the lifting weights.
But yeah, go ahead.
Freshman, I was scared to get in the weight room my freshman year because I was like, must have been embarrassed or something.
Okay.
Don't do that. Just go in there, no matter how big you are or how out of shape you are. Just get in there and work. Because I got a late start because of that. Because I didn't want to work out.
You were scared?
In front of people, so I ended up having to buy all my own equipment and stuff and work out.
Oh, and do it at home.
Yeah. But
okay.
Just forget that part. Skip that part and just go work out with your team.
So what his advice is to you guys? His advice is just get over the fear. Right? How do you get over fear? You do it.
Yeah.
You just do it. You get up and you do it, and you do it over and over and over again. And then it's not, how are you going to fear something you've done? It's kind of like the roller coaster thing, man. Yeah. You scared of a roller coaster, you ride it a couple of times, it ain't going to scare you no more, right? You know what's coming. You know what's in there.
Yeah, because once I got used to it a little bit and started working out by myself a little bit, I was like, all right, now I got to invite people over because I want to do it with people. Like,
Definitely. So I do remember the question. Back to it.
Right.
It was, what are some things you do? And you said support system and gym. What are some things you do to take care of your mental health? Go ahead and just finish up on that.
Me and my friend Corey on the team, we've done some yoga, meditation type of stuff before practice.
You guys do that?
We've done it a few
Okay.
times. I think I've done it by myself a little bit too.
Awesome.
And then
awesome. That's a big gem to the kids listening.
I don't really know what your beliefs are or that, but I feel like praying definitely for me.
Yeah, you can share that.
Reduces some stress, and then
yep, for sure.
And then that type of stuff.
So, but you every week you make sure you take time or every day to make sure these things are a priority on top of sports, school, friends, girlfriend, whatever. You make sure that those things are a high priority.
Because if you go into practice with all your schoolwork done, it's a little, you're not thinking of that anymore.
Right.
Like you get to go have a practice, a worry-free practice, and work hard. And if you have all your stuff taken care of, whether it was school or stuff at home taken care of before you get to practice, then you're going to be able to do your best and not have to worry about anything else.
That's a phenomenal piece of advice. Absolutely phenomenal, because if you really put yourself in that mindset, you got a big test the next day.
Yeah.
You got to study, you got homework. Damn, I ain't done it yet. I'm at practice. Man, that'll cloud you so fast at practice. It's the quickest way to cloud your mind up. That's why if we're being honest, football practice is somewhat easier because a lot of our practice is in the summer when it comes to that. So it's a little easier when it comes to that sort of stuff being on the mind. But I think for our guys even, and for those guys who play sports during school, I think that's a big, big key for you guys to take that. Make sure your schoolwork's done before you go to practice so you don't have that extra stress. If mom asks you to do dishes, like that's something else I would say, like make sure you do the dishes before you go to practice so that when you come home at 8 o'clock at night, if coach got you there for 2 hours or whatever, you're not like, dang, man, I got to take a shower. These dishes are stacked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's big. That's big.
It brings it back to that COVID year when we weren't going to school. We didn't have anything to worry about that whole day because we didn't go anywhere, didn't do anything really. Because school was like not that hard. Online, it was really easy. So it was like you went to school for a couple hours basically, and that was it. And then you'd have to wait all day and then go to practice, and you wouldn't be thinking about anything other than working hard at practice and having fun. Makes sense.
Gabe, we got 2 more quick questions, man. One of them will just real quick. We don't like to cover a whole lot of like ESPN-esque headlines here, but we do try to do like just one just to spark some conversation that people might like. So you don't have to go in a whole bunch of detail, but who wins the NCAA tournament this year?
Well, I had Duke, but they lost already.
Okay.
So now I'm thinking I just watched some Arkansas. They just beat Kansas. I really like them.
You like Arkansas?
Yep. But I also really like Indiana.
Arkansas and Indiana, shout out to the Big Ten. Yep. Is your bracket busted?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Duke
me too.
Lost, and
me too.
A lot of it's not going good either. So
I'm done. Some of these 15s and 16 seeds have torched me, man.
But I think this is a really good tournament because when you have guys, the higher seed teams beating the lower seed teams, it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, definitely. So here's a little bit. We like to do an outside the box conversation before we wrap things up. So you're a young student athlete at this point. I'm the old coach. So what is your response to somebody like Paul Gasol, who I agree with, when they say that they wish the game had more heart, defense, and pride? Do you agree with this or no?
That's why if you go watch like lower level basketball, it's almost more entertaining because those guys work so much. I think that's why there's been so many upsets this year. If you watch the NCAA tournament, these guys are crashing the boards so hard and playing defense so hard. I think that's why they get these upsets.
Okay.
Because I feel like the higher level you go, the less these guys try. They're really good and they're trying still.
Right, they're talented.
They're not as hungry maybe.
Okay. So you would agree with a statement like that the game could use. I hate to say like revert because I hate going backwards, but we could almost kind of go back to certain morals and values that the game kind of stood by, in my opinion. Like there's no Dennis Rodmans anymore, man. There's no like even guys like I was looking at the Pistons in 2004 and I'm like, where's even a guy like Tayshaun who could score 25 but give you 8 rebounds, 6 assists, but he was also going to D up LeBron or Kobe or whoever you needed him to, and like where's these guys at, man? But okay, keep going.
If you compare the NBA regular season to the playoffs, those guys just flip the switch and you can see the game changes once the playoffs starts because they're going a lot harder because that's when it's on the line for them. So like guys like LeBron, he might load manage a little bit during the regular season, and then he's able to flip the switch once the playoff starts and turn it on.
See, but what bothers me, I do understand that, but what bothers me, and maybe that's what's allowed him to go 20 years, but I think the thing that bothers me is it's insulting almost to people like Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, who had this almost mantra of like, the people are spending money on tickets. I get paid to do this. I should be out there playing, even if I'm hurt, if I'm not injured and I can go. And a lot of these guys are not sitting out injured. They're sitting out hurt. They're sitting out with bruises or bumps or cuts or, things like that.
The only reason I don't hate on LeBron for that is because he is like 42. So like he's up there.
LeBron, I will say maybe that's the longevity, but it's even guys like, Kawhi and it's all of them. There's a whole lot of guys. Anthony Edwards just said something about it, but I do think the game could use a little more defense. Even watching the All-Star game, Gabe, like it drove me. I was like, I can't watch it.
The Pro Bowl, shut it off. Those are hard to watch.
The Pro Bowl is the same way, 100%. I don't disagree. Football, and to a degree, football has gotten to be the same way. That's a conversation that I've had on this show and with others, but but I think with just talking to respect to your sport, I think I do agree with Paul, and I was interested to hear somebody who was a student athlete coming to college, kind of your perspective on that. The thing is, though, I think, and you can try, banter back and correct me if you feel like I'm wrong. I think you said about the youth, and I think you're correct because young kids want to compete. They want to get playing time. They want mom and dad to be proud of them for scoring a basket. I think we need to get better as AAU. I think all the travel stuff, man, I'm watching videos and guys are down by 10 points, right? And the game's got a minute left, and I get it. Maybe you don't think you can win, but it's like guys are standing aside so dudes can like do windmill dunks for TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's in the middle of an AAU basketball game. Man, I about lost my mind. I was like, I couldn't coach. I'd have been done, man, because I would have been like, no, we would have ran. It would have been unacceptable, whatever. I couldn't have done it.
I've been on really good AAU teams the last couple of years, whether we win or lose. Good coaches, good kids, and we always played really hard.
So you guys work hard?
Yeah, and fought through the end. But I do agree that could get better. And then if you go watch like NAI basketball games or like the regional high school basketball games, those games are extremely hard played because everyone is fought to be there, and they want to win. And maybe the NAI guys are trying to prove themselves to get to the next level. Like JUCO,
some of them guys,
I bet JUCO games are extremely hard because those guys are trying to get out of there.
JUCO games will be some of the most intense. I've never actually seen a JUCO basketball game, but I'll tell you, JUCO football games, and I'm sure JUCO basketball is probably some of the most intense competition you see because all of them guys are hungry and trying to get out of there. But NAIA, to a degree, is the same. There are certain guys that will definitely want to move to try to get D3 or D2 or go to Grand Valley or wherever. But I think there is a handful of guys too that will definitely stay there. I love having your perspective. You're a basketball junkie. I know you are, right? Your mind is always on basketball. So I think it's important to just kind of see where your guys' minds are with the state of the game. But I think it's got to get better with AAU.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. And then high school coaches, we have to hold it to a better standard. So before we get out of here, Gabe, when does your season start and where can these guys come find a game?
Our home gym is on the campus. It's I can't remember exactly what it's called. Oh, the Cardinal Field House, I think it's what it's called.
That's off the Getty's exit, right? So Getty's Road exit in Ann Arbor.
Roundabout.
Yep.
And then they have the games live streamed on the website.
Okay, sweet.
And I'm not sure exactly when it starts, to be honest, but same time around normal basketball seasons, I think. So around the actual season might start like around November, like late November in there.
So if anybody wants information when it gets closer to, obviously basketball season just ended, when we start getting closer to college basketball, guys reach out to Gabe or reach out to his mom or dad or myself, and I'm sure we'll get a schedule and have those dates. I know I'll be at quite a few games this year. I'm going to come up and enjoy campus and hang out, man, and watch you play ball. I'm excited. So for links, you guys can find Kennedy Health and Wellness on Facebook and Instagram. You can find Coach K Training on Facebook and Instagram as well. You can find Gabe. He is also on Facebook and Instagram. I encourage young athletes to reach out to Gabe if they have any questions about how he trains, his sleeping regimen, anything. anything about Gabe's process of how he got to be at the point where he's at, I strongly encourage you guys to reach out to Gabe. Also, just make sure you guys go follow Concordia basketball, Concordia athletics, and also Monroe High School basketball. If you guys are in the community, although Gabe may not be there next year, make sure you guys go catch a Monroe High School basketball game and support. They need to support all of our schools and teams in this community. Need you guys to show up and need you guys to support the games and pack those gyms and those fields. So I appreciate everybody tuning in today. We are back next week, Sunday at 5 with Coach Small from Monroe High School JV girls basketball. That one, it was rescheduled. We're excited for that. And actually, before we get out of here, I forgot about this earlier in the show, but we are going to start doing a just kind of readers, something for you student athletes and coaches to read every week, a featured book. This week we got Relentless by Tim Grover. Highly advise you guys to go out and get this book and read it, student athletes and coaches. Gabe has read this. I have read this, got lots of stickers in here and notes taken. Make sure you guys go check this out. Thank you guys for watching the Kickin' It with the Coaches podcast. See you guys next Sunday.